Hi, I'm Jo Clark, and thanks so much for joining me today. This is the Redefining Midlife podcast, a podcast designed for the 40-plus woman who is determined to challenge society's myths and beliefs around midlife. It's for the woman who is inspired and ready to define midlife her way. Join me each week as I chat to health and wellness experts for up-to-date information on how to live well as some special conversations with incredible everyday women redefining what midlife can look like. Here's to making our next half of life even better than the first. This episode is like no other that I've ever recorded. Today, we celebrate episode 55 to coincide with the number of years I've had on this earth. We had a group recording with some past guests, a deep dive into some personal questions, and a special highlight reel of every guest who has appeared on the podcast. It's a beautiful celebration of friendship, wisdom, and all the middle of life has to offer. Enjoy.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 55th celebration for the Redefining Midlife podcast. So I am Linda, and I do a lot of the behind-the-scenes editing and production and distribution and all of the other stuff as well, while Jo takes the lead with a lot of you who have been guests already as well. So what we're going to do today is actually share some most memorable moments from the podcast, including a question that you all have been asked, which is what would your 80-year-old self say to your current day self? So it's a question that wraps up usually the final question of the podcast. It's a question that Jo loves to ask for lots of different reasons. And she hasn't heard all of them collectively together like this. So this is a very special share for me to celebrate you, Jo, and all of your hard work and really honour you as the wonderful person you are. I feel so honoured to be behind the scenes and hear some of these conversations before they go out into the world as well. It really is an absolute privilege to work alongside you. So yes, thank you.
Thank you, Linda. I'm so looking forward to listening to all of these, and I've got my tissue handy because I had the heads up that what you were doing, but I know it's going to be really powerful to listen to them as a collective. So thank you.
I think you've heard 5. You heard a sneak peek preview. All right, so we're going to get started with our first 5. All right, let's go.
What do you hope that 80-year-old Jen will say about current day Jen?
I think 80-year-old Jen would be going, you did well, darling. You did well. Good on you. And 80-year Jen's still going to have pink hair, just quietly. Brilliant. Totally still going to have the pink hair. But I think 80-year-old Jen will look and say, I'm glad you spent that time being like discovering yourself again, because now I'm having a lot of fun.
Yes. I'm sure I can see 80-year-old Jen with her Balinese cats all around her and pink flamingos in the background, champagne glass in hand, and a light and easy ready to go for dinner.
Yep. That's it.
What do you hope 80-year-old Jada will say about current day Jada?
Oh, 80-year-old Jada.
So we've really hit the fast forward button.
Yeah, I reckon that's another whole lifetime. I reckon she'd probably say, take a chill pill, Jada. You've got all the time in the world. That's what I reckon she'd say. Stop rushing. Everything will work out just perfectly fine. You'll get there. You'll find your way.
What do you hope 80-year-old Kerri is going to say about current day Kerri?
Oh, she was a good mum. She was a good person who was kind. She was fun and lived her life to the fullest. Yeah, especially after that life event that she had at 42, she wised up and she took control of her life then.
Well, I hope I can sit down with 80-year-old Kerri and have this same conversation and remind that 80-year-old Kerri what she said, because I think she'd be pretty happy.
Oh, thank you, Jo. I hope we're still chatting then too. I might have another big dog panting behind me by then.
So what would 80-year-old Bec think of current day Bec?
I feel like she would look at me now and say thank you for investing into my health and my well-being and my soul, and also just keep going. You're doing okay.
Love it. Love it. What do you hope 80-year-old Kim is going to say about current day Kim?
Oh, I wasn't prepared for this question. Let me think. Good on you that you actually decided to chase your dreams, because I know it was scary to step away from the stability of a job that is very stable, well paid, safe. I am so proud of you for chasing your dreams.
Well done. Hey, stepping into that unknown.
It's such a powerful question. And Jo, I'd just love to get a quick feel from you, I suppose, as to why you picked that question, because you've had this question from the very beginning as well. And what it means to you to hear some of those back as well.
Listening to them back is so powerful. It's one of those things where I often reflected. I chose that because I looked at, I'm getting emotional now. My mum, when she didn't make 80, and I'm determined that I'm going to make 80 and beyond. And I know she reflected back on on seeing me, her own daughter, at an age where she didn't, she was living life to the full. And so I thought that's a really powerful one as a woman to reflect on, fast forward all of those years and then look back. And I just wanted other women to have that experience as well. And it is, and it's exceptionally powerful question, because we don't often think of ourselves a lot older, but it's something, God willing, it's going to happen for all of us. And I would just love women to be able to sit in that space and really reflect on where they are now and embrace and be so joyful of where they are now.
Yeah. And that's exactly what it does. I know. I look forward to getting to that last part of the conversation in some ways, because like my grandmother also didn't make it to 80. My mother's fast approaching, and it's such a powerful thing to think about. Some of these were recorded 12 months ago as well, so it's pretty powerful. Let's go.
If you could look into the future, what do you hope that 80-year-old Sascha is going to say about current day Sascha?
Yes, it's a big one, Jo. To
throw that one at you.
And I am well versed in doing these sort of future self exercises, but nonetheless, every time I do it, I find them a very powerful sort of exercise, isn't it? To think of yourself.
Yes.
That you were brave, and you're on the right path, and you did good, I think.
I agree. I would be there saying exactly the same thing about you as well. What do you hope that 80-year-old Kate will say about current day Kate?
Oh, what a question.
Oh.
Gosh, I don't know the answers to that. I think that she was a good mum, that she was a good friend. She did her best. I think that would be it, really. And she had a nice bottom. I've got quite a nice bottom at the moment. I've worked really hard on it. And it's that whole thing of like, you whinge about yourself when you're 20, and then you look at yourself when at 30 at 20 and go, oh my God, I was great. So I think that's what I'll say. Nice mum, nice friend, nice partner, pretty kind to people, pretty generous, and she had a nice bottom.
Oh, I love that. I love that you finished on she had a nice bottom. Well, let's hope 80-year-old Kate still has got a fairly tight tush, so she'll be saying the same thing as well.
Hooray.
What do you hope 80-year-old Llew will say about current day Llew?
Wow. I I don't know. There you go.
Have I left Lou speechless? So I'm pretty impressed that I've been able to do
Yes,
that.
you have. What would 80-year-old Lou say about 57-year-old Lou? Oh, she thought she knew it all, didn't she? And she didn't.
Oh, that's a bit harsh.
I don't know. Or maybe she'll say, yeah, good job, chick.
Well, it might be a new song that you can come up with, what 80-year-old Lou is going to be saying.
That's right, yeah.
What do you hope 80-year-old Vanya is going to say about current day Vanya?
I think she'll be proud of herself. I hope she's healthy. That's the main thing I want, me and my family to be healthy. So I guess lived a happy, healthy life, seen lots of things, and that my sons are happy and kind boys, really. That's what I want.
Beautiful. What is 80-year-old Letetia going to say about current day Letetia?
Yeah, well, hand on heart for this one, Jo. I knew you were going to ask this question because I have been listening to your podcasts, which I find very relevant. It is a tough question, but I think 80-year-old Letetia would say to 51-year-old Letetia, everything will be right. You know, you're going okay. Life's good. And I think she would pat me on the back and be quite proud of, you know, what I have achieved in those couple of, you know, bad situations in our lives and how I've dealt with them in our life. I think I'd get a fairly good pat on the back. And I think 80-year-old Letetia would be pretty proud of 51-year-old Letetia.
Damn right she would be. I can't wait. I can't wait to sit down with 80-year-old Letetia.
Well, we won't be sitting down. We'll be on our motorised scooters with our guitars in hand.
We'll be walking everywhere. I'm going to get you moving.
Tearing up the
We'll have the Willy Walkers instead.
Yeah.
No, I think we'll be nice and upright, and we'll be able to walk into whatever we damn well want to in our 80s.
I don't know that this is going to get any easier, Jo.
Feeling all the feels.
Yeah.
So, and Letetia, I could see on screen, was feeling those feels too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be quite powerful to hear it back. And yeah, it's not my intention to make you all cry. It's really not. That wasn't what I was trying to do. But it's also, like I said, just so special to be able to share these moments with all of you and bring it all together in a way that's really celebrating how far we've come and that sort of thing. Jo, I want to ask you a slightly off-tangent question just to bring some lighthearted back for a second. I'd love to know what's the number one thing on your bucket list.
Oh, number one thing. I'm about to do it, actually, is to travel overseas again. And I've got 5 sleeps. At the time of recording, I'll actually be over in France. So in 5 sleeps' time, I'll be traveling over to France for 7 weeks. And I'm absolutely busting to do that, because on my bucket list it is to see more of the world. And it's been shut from us for a while, and it's taken a little while to get back in and finding the right time and space. So definitely, I think it is going to be traveling again.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it'll be an incredible time to be immersed in a different language, different culture, new experiences, the food, the wines. Can't wait. It'll be just incredible.
Yeah, and you haven't travelled for years either, have you?
No. I think the last time we did a big trip was over into Spain. That was 7 years ago, and we spent quite a while over there as well. So I think our big bucket list thing is, as we get older, we want to be able to do more of that and to probably immerse ourselves more into a country where we choose to travel to. So it might be spending 6 months to a year abroad and just embracing all of the newness of that.
Yeah.
The newness keeps us young. That's what, it expands your mind and it gives you new experiences, and share that with family and friends as well if we stay for any length of time.
Yep. I'm sure there might be some solo episodes into the future about your overseas travel and all that sort of thing. And
I hope so.
Obviously, you've interviewed quite a few guests so far in 55 episodes. So I'd love to get onto the next selection.
What do you hope that 80-year-old Jess will say about current day Jess?
I'm so proud of you. Yeah, that's what I want her to say. I want her to look back and go, I'm so proud of you because you did what you wanted to do. You led with your heart, and you created what you wanted.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. It's going back to that whole thing that I said when I walk past a nursing home and I think about what will they think.
Yep.
It's that same thought. I want to be able to look back and go, yes, good on you. You did that. You lived a full life. You put all the BS to the side and actually tuned into yourself and created what you wanted. So, yeah, that's what
I
she'll
hope
be saying.
95 Joe can talk to 80-year-old Jess and have this same conversation. That would be fun.
Oh, yes, please. Yes.
We'll have races in our mobility scooters. No, we won't. We'll have foot races. But I want a head start because I'll be 15 years older.
Like my daughter said the other day, she goes, actually, Mum, when I'm old, I want to have like a hoverboard and just ride on my hoverboard. I'll rock up in my hoverboard.
Oh, I hope your balance is okay.
Yeah, I know,
start working on that now.
I just had the walking frame in front of me.
Yes. And a sumo suit. What's 80-year-old Sally saying about current day Sally?
Keep exercising and eating well, because I really want to live a long time.
Yes.
I just read an article on Bob Ansett the other day. He's 90 years old and he runs every day, 6 days a week, does his exercises, swims, and on day 7 he goes golfing. He looks 65.
Wow.
He's 90 years old. I would love to be able to be that physically.
Yeah.
That's inspiring for me.
It is. So keep moving, basically, she'll say.
Keep moving. Yeah, keep moving.
Beautiful.
And be happy.
If you could look into the future, what do you hope that 80-year-old Ellice will say about current day Ellice?
Oh, I hope she's exactly the same. I hope she's moving exactly the same and functioning exactly the same. And I don't see why I won't be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's not going to be a difference in my mind. I just know it. 80-year-old me is just going to be as well and healthy and vibrant as 40-year-old me because of the tools and because of the work I'm going to put into myself along the way.
What do you hope 80-year-old Alena is going to say about current day Alena?
Oh, that's a really hard question, Jo. I imagine 80-year-old Alena will just smile quietly to herself and look with great love upon the person that I am now. That's really all there is to it, I think. Hopefully be sitting somewhere surrounded by her children and grandchildren.
What do you hope 80-year-old Belinda will say about current day Belinda?
Geez, that's a hard one. Probably that I did everything I could. I did my job to the absolute nth degree and squeezed every bit of benefit for mankind out of it.
What do you hope that 80-year-old Kirsten is going to say about current day Kirsten?
Oh, that's hitting me in the feels. That's getting me all thinking about when I'm 80. I hope that she thinks she's lived a good, happy, kind-hearted life. That's probably it, I think. That's what life for me comes down to, just being a good, happy, kind person.
That's lovely. Well, you're certainly a shining light now, Kirsten, so I dare say that she is going to say those words.
Let's hope. I hope I'm not a grumpy old 80-year-old. I hope I'm a happy
as long as she was nice now. That's
yeah, that's right.
Oh, goodness. They keep coming. Yes, I have more.
They're lovely to listen back to. And I know a couple of Jess being younger, listening back now and hearing that. And it'll be interesting to see as you hear your own, if that's exactly what you're feeling still. And was it a good reflection? That's what I'd love to know afterwards as well from those of you who have joined us today.
Yeah, definitely. And it can be quite confronting to hear your own voice back as well if you're not used to it. So, but hearing your own voice back sometimes and what you might have said previously and those sort of things as well, it can be quite quite an insight as well. So I'd love to know, have you asked your children this question?
No, I haven't. In fact, they're coming up this weekend to celebrate Father's Day, and also just the fact that they're going to be, seeing us before we head overseas. Yes, well, I'll ask them that question around the table when we're sharing together on Sunday. It'll be interesting to see what they say. When you're in your early 20s, you can't. I mean, you think 30's old. They probably consider themselves old now. So it would be interesting to see if they can even consider they're going to be reaching that age.
Yeah. Do you see any traits or ways that your children are like you in their 20s now?
Yes. Fiercely independent, lots of ambition, insecurities. Like I think most people in their 20s, particularly women in their 20s, will experience, and it's only through hindsight as you get older that you go, what on earth was I concerned about then? How much time did I waste on worrying on stupid things? There's a lot of similarities, but they're their own people, and that's what I absolutely love about my two children, is that they're so different, alike in different ways as well, but they're incredible humans that are going to make a big difference in the world. So I'm very proud of them.
Yeah. I know, and it'd be nice to hear them on the podcast one day, maybe, if they've got some confidence to do that.
I don't know if I'll get my son on, but my daughter Lucy would probably love to come on and have a yarn. So he'd be the first male if that was the case. I want to keep it, female friendly. Hear the female voices. So it would be interesting to actually have her on and have a yarn to her about some of these things.
Yeah. There you go. Just planted that seed.
Oh, planted that seed. Excellent. Better write that one down before I forget.
Yeah. In the soup of all the other things going on before you go away.
Well, it won't be, I can guarantee I'll write it down, but I won't be thinking about it for quite some time.
No. All right, we're going to share the next collection. So buckle in and off we go.
What do you hope that 80-year-old Melanie will say about current day Melanie?
I think she'd probably say to her, thank you for making you a priority finally. That it was important, and look and appreciate the beauty of who you are now. Look at that and just appreciate who you are every day. Yeah, I think that's what she would say. I hope she would.
We'll soon see. What do you hope that 80-year-old Mel will say about current day Mel?
Oh, gee, why did that just trigger me? Nervous laugh. Well, the first thing I would say is that I still feel like the same woman, and I'm so proud that I got to this age. And I would say that me now, that I'm really proud of the woman she's become, and that she was brave enough to put herself first rather than just do something because she could and it was working. And that she's a really great mum, a really great friend, and that I'm just really proud that she's just put herself first.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
It is a good question, isn't it? If you could look into the future, what do you hope that 80-year-old Penny is going to say about current day Penny?
I want to have no regrets, and I want to look back and say, wasn't it really great the way I decided to start that business, write that book, travel to those places that I always wanted to travel to, and just live that really spirited, beautiful life.
What do you hope 80-year-old Claire is going to say about current day Claire?
I think she's going to be really proud of her for having the courage to do really scary things. And I think she's just going to say, just keep on going. Like, don't hold yourself back. You get one life and go for it.
Oh, that's lovely. What do you hope 80-year-old Jess will say about current day Jess?
Oh, goodness me. That she really just did her very best. You know, that she just looked forward whilst being in the present. Now, that doesn't really make much sense as I say that out loud, but I just mean that she was always doing her best to be living the life that she wants to be living, creating what she wants to be creating. Yeah. The best is, I really feel like, what you can ask for from anybody in any situation. It's just, I know right now that I am giving everything my all, what is, possible within me to be giving out. So I would hope that 80-year-old would look back on me now and go, yeah, I'm proud of her. She did her best.
I'm sure she will. I've got every confidence that she will.
What do you hope 80-year-old Steph will say about current day Steph?
Oh, I hope 80-year-old Steph says, yeah, good on you, younger Steph, for just getting amongst it, no guts, no glory, and you put yourself out there and worked hard. I do work very hard. It's not an easy road to be making career changes. You have to kind of gird your loins and prepare to sort of knuckle down. But I hope she looks back at a younger Steph and thinks, she was all right. She did well. She wanted to change and she changed. She didn't sit back and grumble about her situation. She just thought, right, if you're not happy, go out and change it. And she did.
Oh, brilliant.
It's amazing how it takes people by surprise, isn't it, when you listen to them and people go, oh, and then trying to think. And I know when I listen to some people's feedback I've had from some of the past guests was, I really wasn't expecting that question. And and it's one of those things where it's lovely if they're not listeners to the podcast to have that come as a surprise.
Yeah. And I wonder if it would be a similar answer if you had the time to reflect on it or think about it.
Yeah. It may change for a lot of people, but I think the true answer comes from the heart. So when it's asked and it's unexpected, I think what comes up is really, truly, you might reflect after, oh, I could have said this and I could have said that. Yes, you could. But coming from the heart is what's the powerful message that people feel and need to say and vocalize for themselves.
Yeah.
Saying it out loud is different to thinking as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It doesn't always translate. It gets a bit garbled, I think, in there.
That's right. It does. Yep.
Yeah. It'd be quite powerful, I think, to intentionally think about that question moving forward. So while our immediate answer might be from the heart, but if you then start to live and think about that question intentionally as you move forward and maybe ask the same question every 12 months or something of yourself, that would be quite an interesting exercise as well to think about.
Yep, indeed.
Oh dear, yes. And I would love to know, we're going to have another question just to lighten the mood for a second, because I have another batch to share in a minute. So tell me about some of your favourite memories from childhood, maybe favourite TV shows or some of those things that you think have formed part of who you are now in midlife.
I've always been interested in, like, one of my earliest memories is being on the stage at the local show with Humphrey B. Bear. Those of you who are Australian and of a certain age would know who Humphrey B. Bear was. And I was probably about 4 and up on the stage. So that was a big memory. I'm sure my family are thrilled to hear that that's the memory that I've come up with. The Humphrey B. Bear being up on stage, dancing, having not a care in the world, not worrying about what anybody else thinks. And I think if we can channel some of what that was like when we were younger and bring that into our current day, God, it'd be a different place for a lot of people. Just to have that confidence to not give it. I know it does happen as you get older. You have less Fs, but it is a different level again of seeing life through the eyes of a child.
Yeah.
So that one, and I think holiday time. Locking my mother in the pantry with my older sisters. That was something that we used to love doing. my poor mother, who was scared of the dark and enclosed spaces, and we would do that regularly, putting salt in her tea. It's all those sort of little meaningless things that are quite alive that you can think of as a child. So yeah, and friends, being playing with my friends, and the going out and riding your bike and not coming back until later, and having getting lollies and selling it to the kids around the neighbourhood for an inflated price. They're the sort of key the key memories that I've got as a child.
Yeah. Just interesting to think back, because again, I know you asked that question of a lot of your guests as well.
Yes,
it's good to hear. You're just as normal as all the rest of us.
I ain't about normal. Sometimes I think I'm anything but at times. But it is interesting because what you were like when you were younger, that forms the basis of who you are now. And reflecting, just as we should reflect on what we would like to be as we're older, it's nice to go back and reflect on what we were like when we were younger as well, and try to bring some of that magic back in.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to share some more memories.
What would 80-year-old Peter say about current day Peter?
Oh, I don't know. Well, just enjoy. Like, I know that you said this earlier, you're alive, you're here, enjoy what you've got, because there's so many people. It's a privilege to get to the age of 80. So enjoy all of the milestones and everything that come with them. If I'm turning 80, I'll just be having a glass of champagne and cheering myself and my 50-year-old self. Just go, we made it to 80. So
beautiful.
That would be great. Yeah,
it would be great. What would 80-year-old Gabby say about current day Gabby?
Stop worrying about what other people think, and go live your life. Find out what it is that you love and go do the thing that you love, and stop worrying about everything else. Be free, be happy, make the choices that align with you, that savor the things that you love. Because in the end, I hope that the people that I love will say of me that I loved well, that I loved well. And that's, in the end, that's all I want to do, is love well. I love that question, Joe. I'm going to I keep answering different things, but I think I'm going to have to go back and ponder that. But yeah, be free. Be free.
Beautiful.
Be who you are.
What do you hope that 80-year-old Beth is going to say about current day Beth?
Oh, okay. This is a great question. Current day, probably sweat less. Not sweat as in that everything's going to work out. Yeah, everything always works out in the past, but when I reposition myself, I think, I panic about things. So I think 80-year-old Beth would say, enjoy every day, worry less, dream more.
Oh, I love that. What do you hope 80-year-old Joe is going to say about current day Joe?
I hope the 80-year-old is going to go, you know what, you did it. And I'm proud. And thinking about it now, because I wish I could have said that about my younger self now, and I can't. And I have the confidence now to believe in myself. And I know 80-year-old Joe is just going to be sitting there. She will have that cocktail.
She will.
I'm
visualising it now on a beach with a cocktail.
Yeah, and she's going to be thinking, you know what, 50-something Joe, good on her. She did what she was meant to be doing. That's what she's going to say.
Cheers to that. What do you hope that 80-year-old Megan is going to say about current day Megan?
Oh, I think definitely she'll be glad that she made the decisions that she did. Hopefully I've left a legacy of some sort for the women that are coming up behind me in menopause. I can definitely see that now with my own kids, because I talk about it quite openly with them, and it's starting to, instigate a lot of conversations with their friends, and they're 20 and 22. So at 80, I'm really hoping that I'm going to be still strong and healthy like I am now. Like that's what I advocate for. That's really the basis of my work, the self-care. I think if anything, she would just say, I'm just so glad you did what you did and you made the decisions that you made. Good on you.
Brilliant. What do you hope 80-year-old Annette will say about current day Annette?
Oh, that's a great question. I think 80-year-old Annette would say, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for never giving up. I'm proud of you for always trying to find a way forward, because it means that in my 80s now, I'm able to look back on a rich and full life that was full of adventure, experiences and lessons, and it's made me the wise old woman that I am now, and everybody listen to me.
I think you will be able to hold court very easily, Anna. You're going to have some great yarns in the nursing home.
I always joke that one of my favourite shows is Wentworth, and I always joke that if I went to prison, I'd be Queen Bee within a week.
That I have no doubt.
Wouldn't it be great to have the collective wisdom of everyone together at the age of 80 and revisiting all of this? I'd love to hear and see what women are, the lives they've led from this point onwards to the time that they reach that age. It'd be amazing. Absolutely.
Yeah, it would be quite phenomenal to interview you all at 80.
Wouldn't the world be a different place if we women the women who are even on here today just had more of a say and could change different policies, and it would look very different, I would imagine.
Yeah, even just implementing your steps to wellness.
Yes. Yes. We'd save the economies a huge amount of money.
Oh gosh.
What I'm loving is just watching all of you ladies as you're hearing your replay of your 80-year-old, what you thought your 80-year-old self might say. It's lovely to see your faces and how you're responding, listening back to your voice and to your wisdom.
Yeah. We have a few more to get through, so I'm going to share the next few.
What do you hope that 80-year-old Colette will say about current day Colette?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm proud of you for being strong through all the obstacles that were thrown at you. And even though things were coming left and right, you persevered and kept your eye on the prize, which is the future and loving myself. Yes.
Yeah. Good.
So,
well,
yeah, that almost made me cry.
I know. I love hearing everybody's answers because they are very beautiful. I think I almost say the same thing at the end of every interview. Oh, that's beautiful. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
Because it is.
Yeah.
It's such a special thing to be able to think about and then to verbalize. One thing to think about it, but saying out loud, that brings another layer on top of it.
It does.
Before we finish off today, if you could look into the future, what do you hope 80-year-old Sarah will say about current day Sarah?
Well, I think there'll be a thank you and grateful for doing, what I needed to do and to be mobile, active and enjoying life in my 80s and enjoying grandkids. Hopefully, I hope that my kids have some kids that I can hang out with too and travel with, but mostly gratitude for investing in myself and my health and financial health as well as physical and mental health as well. Yeah.
Lovely. What would 80-year-old Emma say about current day Emma?
Keep going. I think that's what you would say is just, and I hope and good on you for keeping on going, because it was really worth it. I mean, sometimes you would know what it's like when you start a new business, and you just it's a roller coaster ride, and I think that it's about being persistent. And 80-year-old Emma would be really happy when I have clients that I'm still serving and helping, and maybe people are reading my books, and I have a really rich life, that she would say, good on you for doing all of that.
Beautiful. I'm sure she will. What do you hope 80-year-old Sarah will say about current day Sarah?
Oh, that's probably something like, well, good on you, love. You figured out what worked, what made you happy, and you just went with it. And I think, isn't that the lovely thing about midlife, is that you can, there's no shoulds anymore. And the things that I love and enjoy, I can just kind of wallow around in, even if they are
even if I was doing a jigsaw puzzle, you know, listening to a podcast. And I hope I will look back, and I've never really been one for regrets. I hope I look back at this point now and also feel pride. I'm so proud because I have teenage boys right now, how they're turning out.
What do you hope 80-year-old Sonia will say about current day Sonia?
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. I think I would say that the regrets are small, that I lived and took opportunities and faced fears to end up where I am at that point. And yeah.
That's very special. What do you hope that 80-year-old Nikki will say about current day Nikki?
I hope 80-year-old Nikki is sitting on the deck, sipping on a G&T and congratulating her much younger self for having the courage to stand up for what she believed in and for realizing that it's never too late to do that.
Brilliant. Cheers to that, Nikki. Now, Meggie, if you could look into the future, what do you hope 80-year-old Meg is going to say about current day Meg?
Oh, some people now say, how did you make that decision to do that? And I just think, what if I didn't make that decision? What if I let the fear drive me? The fear of having a child on my own, or the fear of going through another cycle, or the fear of being a failure, which is the thing that got me before, is that I would ultimately do the thing that might work, which was go to South Africa, and it would still not work.
Yeah.
At least I knew that I'd tried everything.
What do you hope 80-year-old Mary will say about current day Mary?
I'm going to start crying. Like, I'm hoping that 80-year-old Mary will be like, you know, she was about to like let go. She was about to sort of just lose herself, but she knew that she was one step away from that thing that is going to just catapult her. So just stick with it. Just keep going. Just keep showing up, and you'll be very surprised at what the result is.
Another question for you. If you could look into the future, what do you hope 80-year-old Alex will say to current day Alex?
Oh, wow. You got to live an amazing second half of your life beyond your wildest dreams. Yeah. I mean, I've got all these ideas and things I want to do, and I just think, oh gosh, really? But I'm going to do it, because all this time, like, I've had a great life and I don't regret anything, but I've held back because of things I've been worried, what people think, and now that I don't care, I'm just going to go for it.
Now, Marla, we'll have a wrap-up question for you. And is, what do you hope, and it usually is 80-year-old, but we're going to go 100-year-old, because I have no doubt that you were going to get there, Marla. What is 100-year-old Marla going to say about 70-year-old Marla?
That is a great question, Jo. I love that question. You know what she's going to say? She's going to say, boy, that girl almost like kicked it in. She was so terrified and so confused and so sad.
Yeah.
But she leaned into it, and she brought something to the world. And she's got a talk show. and she's, you know, the new spokesperson for Nike, because Nike's now making shoes for people from 70 to 100, and they're cool, and 20-year-olds and 20-year-olds want them now too. And I'm a spokesperson for all kinds of brands, because we are showing the world that we can all live long and happy lives. Parachutes with Nanny Bubby on them.
Love it. What do you hope 80-year-old Kathy is going to say about current day Kathy?
Oh, that's an easy one for me. I would hope that I'm saying
I'm loving being a groovy granny and teaching my grandchildren everything that their parents don't want them to know with a bit of fun and attitude. I'm still loving that I'm running a massive Intimo business and helping women all across Australasia and hopefully globally by then. And I'm happy living life to my fullest, traveling with a new caravan and our boats and our house and our lifestyle, and just making sure that wherever I go, I'm leaving a great energy lift to everyone, really. And just, when you have a person in your life where you go into a room with them and you leave and you think, oh Jesus, that wasn't fun, and then you go into a room with somebody and you go, oh my God, I love her, that energy is like spilled all over me and I feel better. That is the 80-year-old Kathy I want to be, always making people feel good.
Brilliant. Well, I want to bathe in that energy with 80-year-old Kathy too.
I'm sure you will, Jo. You're a light, a beacon light yourself, girlfriend. So we'll just keep sharing the light, eh?
Awesome.
Oh, goodness. Still all the feels, Jo.
Yes, the different answers from the women are just amazing. I love it. What an honor it is to be able to talk to women in the middle of life and get their perspective on exactly what they feel, what they think, the future direction, how they're making an impact in the world and will continue in the years and the decades to come. Like it's an absolute honor. And just listening back to hearing these is, it's evidence that and our voices matter. We are making a difference.
Yeah. I'd love to go around the voices just quickly before we wrap up and just hear from those who are happy and willing to share what you thought when you did hear it back. Maybe you didn't hear your voice, maybe you didn't get a chance to hear your voice, but just hearing back some of those answers and your answers specifically. So Letetia, you're first, if you can share.
Yeah, it's always hard to hear your own voice back. You don't think you sound like that, but that really hit the heart, actually. Just, I suppose, because you're on the other side of the two events that happened in my life, and I'm feeling really good within myself. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just grateful for Jo and everything she's doing and introducing us all to such powerful, wonderful women. You just don't know that there is us out there. And Jo's given us the platform to share our story and help us understand how we're going to get to 80. And if it wasn't for Jo and her regular phone calls while I was going through my breast cancer treatment, she was a real beacon. She stepped in, leaned in, and became a very close friend. So I thank you, Jo, and you're doing an amazing job. Like, I could listen to your voice all day, every day. Love you, and have a great trip, Dale. You deserve it.
Yeah, so true. Beth, you're up next.
Fantastic. Congratulations, Jo. So happy to be here. Now, very interesting in that I use my word of the year. I couldn't remember what I'd said, but then I used the word reposition, and that's my word of the year. So I found that interesting that I had used that word, and that's what midlife for me is all about, is repositioning my life. So yay. Congratulations, Jo.
Thank you so much. Oh, goodness. It's interesting, isn't it, how we slot those things in. Marla, if you could share, we'll try to keep it pretty quick, pretty brief if we can. So, we're coming up to the hour.
Yes, I'm definitely the one that you need to say keep it brief. That's for sure. I couldn't remember that you had asked me that question. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm going to be 80 in 9 years, a little over 9 years. So what did I say? But I was pleased that you asked about that 100-year mark, because I feel so competitive is not the word, but I feel so dedicated to getting past and into that centurion time of my life. I want to say about Jo that I think she has one of the most marvelous senses of humors. And
Yep.
we laughed so hard throughout that podcast and we laughed and laughed and laughed. And I think that if you are looking to put longevity into your life, that
Yep.
laughter is one of your most important keys. And so I really felt that Joe shared that with me on that interview, and it lasted for weeks and weeks. So I thank
heard
you.
it. I heard
Thank
it.
you, Joe.
Thank you. Sonia, are you able to share?
So, Joe, I know we haven't known each other that long, but wow, what an impact. You have inspired to like really take on that other side and really step into what you love and what you enjoy, and just seeing you enhance and expand and continually push the boundary and say that there's no limits, is to be able to provide that to everyone else when you are sitting in a world where sometimes as a female you can get boxed in and believe that there is no one else feeling like that or no one else like you out there. To be able to connect so many beautiful, bright, strong women together and share their stories like that. Grateful, absolutely grateful for that. So thank you.
Yep. Llew, are you able to share? I know you didn't get a chance to hear yours yet.
Oh, so, okay, good. I thought I missed it at the beginning. So okay, that's good. I think I heard it when I listened to the podcast, and my staff listened to it, and my mother. And I will give another vote to Marla, who said it's all about laughter. My mother said, why did you and Joe just laugh all the time through that? And I said, well, I don't know. That's what we do. That's what I do with Joe. And a shout out to a man, Joe's husband is one of the funniest men. And I know when we live with somebody the whole time, it's different. But Chook makes me laugh too. And so does Joe. So it's all about humour. And I think my answer was humorous. I said something like, oh, good job, Chick. That's what I would say as an 80-year-old to the one I am now. So, yeah, keep on laughing, girls.
Yeah, very important. Jada, are you able to share quickly?
Wow, I just feel so honoured and privileged to be in this space because surrounded by all these wise, strong, amazing, inspiring women and you, Joe, really thank you for having me in this space because I feel like, I guess I'm about to head into more of that midlife time of life, and to be surrounded by women discussing that time of life, sharing their wisdom is incredibly powerful, and I'm honoured to be a part of it for hopefully generations to come, so that these discussions are more available and more women are inspired by the women who have gone before them. So just a privilege to be here, and I'm always so inspired by you, Joe. So thanks for having me.
Yep, I second that fully. I feel like I'm getting a sneak peek into all the education that I need. Jess, you're up next.
When Joe asked me the question during the podcast, it choked me up, and I literally had to kind of hold myself together because it was one of those questions that we don't look ahead much. I look back, but being able to look forward was really beautiful. So thank you for that space, Joe. And Joe, you've been one of those women that has just brought light to my life, and one of those women that has allowed me to see what I have to look forward to. You are like a huge, huge inspiration. So keep doing what you're doing because you don't realize the impact that you're having on people's lives. And I just love you so much. So you have this energy, and the more I get to know you, the more I want to know you, and the more I want to be in your space because you have this vibrancy and so much love and life to give, and just big laughs as well. Love you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Sascha.
I thought it might be me. I'll try and keep it really quick. I think, Joe, you know how much I love you. We talk about this all the time. It's probably a bit full on for others to observe, but it's full on for me in terms of the emotions that I feel for you. But what I just wanted to say quickly in hearing all the other women share, and seconding everything everyone's already just said, is, I can't remember who said it, but something about imagine if, maybe you said it, Jo, imagine if we were in charge, the influence that we could have. And I really feel like we're at a turning point, a tipping point as a collective in this midlife range, but what we, I think, are leading the path for younger women behind us. So I feel like we're almost there in terms of really revolutionising the world for ourselves as women, but for the world in general. And I think, Jo, you're a leader, and all the women on the screen are, we're leaders in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Watch out.
Yeah.
Watch out, world. Colette, if you can share, if it's safe to do so.
Hi. Okay, so listening to it again almost brought me to tears, because I think in life, especially in the season that I'm in, it's just go time, and I'm pushing, and I do see the future, but to step down and take an intimate moment to reflect on where I want to go, it was a gift. And Jo, you're a gift. From the minute I met you, you just created this space in my life of just like, I'm thirsty for you. I love you. You're just amazing. And you've helped me through times when my daughter was going to college, and just being the light and inspiration. And I'm just so appreciative of you. I can't say enough of that, and love you so much. And thank you for the beautiful messages that you put out into the world every single day. And I just love our time together. So thank you, Jo.
Thank you so much. Oh, goodness. I've got Melanie and Kerri, if she can share. So I'll go to Melanie first.
Hey, Jo, congratulations. What an achievement for you. And you've spoken about I was in your company before you even started your podcast. So, yeah, Jo, thank you for everything that you do. You're such a rock to me in my roller coaster of a life. You've always reached out to me to check in on me, and it's been wonderful to have you. I've never met you in real life, but I do know that one day we will meet. I'm pretty sure you won't be coming over here because it's too cold for you, and I'm not sure if I want to go to Australia because I don't like spiders, or snakes. But I know that we will meet, and definitely probably in Australia, I think. But yeah, thanks, Jo, for asking that question. And I know that my answer was thank you for making myself a priority. And that was something I learned from you, and the program you run and the message you put out into the world is, we need to just prioritize ourselves and just be us. So thank you, Jo.
Thank you so much. Kerri, if you can come off mute, you might not be able to with work commitments and everything like that.
Hello there.
Oh, there you go. Hi.
Hi, Jo. Look, I just want to say a huge congratulations. As a fellow educator, you've taken a huge risk with what you've done, and you've been a real inspiration to me in particular, but I'm sure all of us. And I just love being part of your sisterhood. Feels like this fantastic, warm, collective group that we're all part of now. And if you weren't doing what you were doing, I think you should be a radio announcer, because the dulcet tones of Jo Clark, wow, you've got some voice. But thanks for everything. You've got so much empathy, so much love, and I love being part of everything that you do as well. So congratulations, Jo.
Thank you so much. Oh, Jo, I do want to honour the fact we have gone a little bit over time because all the feels and all the emotion. But I do want to ask you one final question. What do you think 80-year-old Jo would say to current day Jo?
I think 80-year-old Jo will say, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for taking that leap of faith, for being brave and doing something that you didn't know what the end result was going to be, and she still doesn't, and for loving well, for supporting others, and for leaving the world a better place than when you found it.
Yeah,
I think that's what she would say. I'm sure she'd have a lot more to say because she loves to talk.
Good job she has a podcast. She might still be podcasting at 80.
I hope so. And to hear and to take in all of these beautiful words that others have just said, I appreciate every single one of you, and every single one of you has got a very special place in my heart and in my world. And thank you. It's always uncomfortable to hear words coming at you, but I gratefully receive them and accept them and love you all for them.
Thank you all so much for being here, and onwards for many more Redefining Midlife podcasts. And Jo, yes, just celebrating all of you. Indeed. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And thank you for your time, ladies. I truly appreciate you being here and sharing this with us.
Thanks so much for listening and sharing your time with me today. I'd love you to hit subscribe on Apple Podcast or your favourite podcast app and leave a 5-star rating and review. To keep spreading these empowering messages, please share this podcast with other incredible midlife women in your world. On socials, you can find me on Instagram and Pinterest at Jo Clark Coaching. I'd also like to invite you to join my private Facebook group, Women's Wellness Collective. You can also head to my website at joclarkcoaching.com for more information. All the links mentioned in today's episode can be found in the show notes. Join me again next week for another Redefining Midlife conversation. Thanks again for tuning in.